Hi, Brian Condo here from the Brian Condo team at Remax. Today I'm going to talk about how home buyers can save thousands of dollars when they buy a home. Now, before I get to this topic, it's important to let you in on four common strategies most sellers use to price their homes, which I discussed on one of my blog posts last week. I'm actually going to show you some of the slides from that post. You'll notice that it's tailored to the seller. So I'll try to make the necessary changes as I'm reviewing those slides with you. Okay, so let's go right to it. How to save thousands of dollars when you buy. So how sellers set their asking price. Now, for you to understand how much to offer for a home, it's important for you to know how sellers price their homes. Here are four common strategies you'll start to recognize when you begin to view homes. Again, this is going to be tailored to the seller, all right? So, because I used this last week. So the number one strategy, clearly overpriced. So every seller wants to realize the most amount of money they can for their home. And real estate agents know this. If more than one agent is competing for the listing, an easy way to win the battle is for the agent to overinflate the value of the seller's home. Now, this is done far too often, with many homes that are priced 10 to 20% over the true market value. This is not in the best interest of the seller because in most cases the market won't be fooled. It's actually not in the best interest of the buyers either. So both the buyer and seller don't really get the benefit of having this tactic used. If you think about it, if we take you to look at a house and you really like it, and we all know that it's overpriced, but we don't know if the seller knows that it's overpriced and they're just testing it, you can go in there and go in with a price that is probably, around market value or just below it, and they may get really upset because maybe they thought truly in their hearts that they can get more, or maybe their agent basically overinflated the value just to get the listing. And this has happened to us quite often, where myself or one of the members of my team have gone in to see a seller. We usually do it in two steps. And the first step is to go in, take notes, take measurements, ask the seller questions, maybe even take a video or pictures so we can do the most thorough job possible. Then we go back to the office and we do our research, put together a really detailed market analysis, and we come back and present our findings to the seller. And the seller, basically is, can really have a good idea after we do that what it should be priced at. But for some reason, maybe someone else goes in after us and tells them what they want to hear, and basically, wins the listing. A lot of times that's a waste of time. But anyways, let's go on. As a result, the seller's home could languish on the market for months, leaving the seller with a couple of important drawbacks. And I'm just talked about that now. The home likely will be labeled as troubled, or in this case here, overpriced, by other agents, leading to a lower than fair market price when an offer is finally made. And that, again, like I touched on, sometimes you just don't know what they're expecting and you don't know what to really go in at. The seller can be greatly inconvenienced with having to constantly have their home in, quote, showing condition, and basically a lot of times it's for nothing. These homes often expire off the market, forcing the seller to go through the whole listing process all over again. A lot of times that's what happens. So either one of my team members or myself that did the initial current market value assessment on that house, and basically did the job for them, but lost out because someone went in there and just overinflated the value. Maybe after the listing expires, we get a call from the seller and they say, hey, we should have listened to you the first time. The agent was pretty compelling. Obviously, we wanted to try to get as much as we can, but please come back and let's see if we can get it sold. What we'll do at that point is we'll have to do a new market analysis. We wouldn't have to take as much time because we've already seen the house, so we don't have to do the first step. But we would do a second step and basically give them an up-to-date analysis, because especially if they've been on the market for a couple months. Anyways, that's strategy number one. Strategy number two for sellers when they want to list their house for sale is a price it somewhat overpriced. And about 75% or 3/4 of the homes on the market are overpriced. These homes will also sit on the market longer than they should. There's usually one of two factors at play here. And this is also when it's grossly overpriced, as well as a second strategy, somewhat overpriced. Either the seller believes in their heart that their home is really worth that much, despite what the market has indicated, and what we as agents have actually shown them. After all, there's a lot of emotion caught up in this issue, or the seller and their agent has left some room for negotiating. Either way, this strategy will cost the seller in terms of time on the market and ultimate price received. And I've already touched on that. So the third strategy that sellers use when pricing their home is they price it correctly and at market value. So some sellers understand that real estate is part of the capitalistic system of supply and demand, and will carefully and realistically price their homes based on a thorough analysis of other homes on the market, as well as homes that are recently sold. And that's basically where the agent a lot of times comes in. These competitively priced homes usually sell within a reasonable time frame and very close to the asking price. Lately, in most cases, you're getting over the asking price. As a matter of fact, over the last few years, including over the last year where the market's slowed down a lot, it's these competitively priced homes that are still getting multiple offers and going over the asking price because the listing supply is so low. The listing supply, not price. The listing supply is low, so there's less supply, more high demand means a higher asking price, or at least a higher selling price. Okay, the fourth one, price below the fair market value. And this is what I, myself, and my team are doing quite a bit lately. Some sellers are motivated by a quick sale. These homes attract multiple offers and sell fast, usually in a few days at or above the asking price. Be cautious that the agent suggesting this method is doing so with your best interest in mind. Again, this is important because, like I said just now, I've trained my team as well as my staff to actually go this route and explain why we do this to our sellers. But that's after doing the two-step comparative market analysis, doing a lot of research, and giving them an idea of what they should get for the price, and then pricing a little bit lower, because our philosophy is you want to be the best price or somewhere very close to it for homes that are on the market that have similar features to yours. And that could be style and type, could be neighborhood, it could be some of the updates you've had, the lot size, all that stuff, or maybe even the condo building. So we've done all that research. So that's really important. So we are suggesting a price somewhat lower than what we think you're going to get, or maybe quite a bit lower, depending on what the competition is. However, some agents are doing it because they don't know what to price it at. So they just say, price it here. And there's a lot of rookies that really don't know how to do it. So the best way for them to actually list a house is to be the best price, the lowest one, with not doing all the research to tell the client that you can expect this match. Okay, so that's why I say be cautious that the agent suggesting this method is doing so with your best interest in mind. So that is the four strategies that sellers use to price their home. I've sort of expanded on all that to explain, how you should approach it as a home buyer. If you're a home seller, actually this helps you as well. Okay, now home buyers. Okay, and here it is: how to save thousands of dollars when you buy a home. And as you can see, if you're like most home buyers, you have two primary considerations in mind when you start looking for a home. Number one, you want to find a home that perfectly meets your needs and desires. Okay, and let me just expand on that for a second. So, what we do and what a good agent will do is when we first meet with a client, we'll sit down with them, we'll take notes. Not only will we get all their, contact information, but we'll also ask them questions about what they want, what they need, what they have to have in a house, what they definitely don't want in a house. There's quite a list of things that we ask. In fact, our list can be upwards of 100 different things that we want to make sure we know about with our clients. And then we actually take that information, plug it into our custom search system to get some homes that get spit out. And depending on what you can qualify for, which we also do with you at this first meeting, and that is we have a custom app just designed specifically for us by one of our mortgage specialists. And it not only do we basically do what you can see online that you can get on any mortgage app, but this app also factors in the mortgage stress test that most people don't basically factor in. So we can qualify you to see what you can do based on that, based on the questions we've asked of what you're looking for. We can then pull things out and show you exactly what you can get. And then we'll basically get you out as soon as you possibly can get out to look at these houses. Now, that is what we call a mortgage qualification. A mortgage pre-approval is different. That's where we get our mortgage specialists to talk to you to get your personal covenant. That would be, your income. We may need proof. He may need proof of income that way. Maybe some pay stubs, what you owe. Maybe do a credit check, all that stuff to get you a pre-approval. Okay, so that's really important. Okay, the second thing that's important for home buyers is you want to purchase the home for the lowest possible price. And that's where we do all that research. When you analyze those successful home buyers who have been able to purchase the home they want for thousands of dollars below a seller's asking price, some common denominators emerge. Now, although your agent's negotiating skills are important, and I think it is for us, but there are three additional key factors that must come into play long before you ever submit an offer. These steps will help you save thousands when you buy a home. Okay, so I have actually put together a free report that goes over these steps in great detail. Okay, you can grab a copy of that report by going to this following website address, and you can see it right here on this page, or you can contact me at one of these numbers, or email me, brian@briancondo.com. Okay, so that takes you through all the steps that are involved in helping you purchase a home for thousands of dollars less than the asking price. So if you have any further questions, like I said, you can contact me at that email or those phone numbers. I think it'd be a good idea for you to request the report. If you want, you can go to my blog page. Just go to briancondo.com/blog, or I've got another website, briancondoteam/blog. Oh, that's Brian Condo Team or briancondo.com/blog. Okay. And if you have any further questions, you can, like I said, contact me one of those email or numbers. Thanks for your time, and we will talk soon.